How many times you wanted to slap my head?
This week? I would not disclose it in public in case something ever happens.
What?
I would not disclose this in public in case something ever happens. Like you have an unfortunate accident or something like that.
Remember to have a smaller gloves.
I am
just in case.
I am lucky that I do not have violent tendencies. I know some people have to fight with that. I don't. And I know it's not necessarily a feature of my character. It's probably just something that I have. I don't have to work hard to not be violent. I just am not. But
you just fucked with my head. Hello guys.
Hi everyone.
I'm Waldemar.
And I'm Weronika.
Well, this is it. This is the big one.
This is the big one.
Yeah. When we are recording this, the George Carlin video about religion should already be on our channel, so we gave some context already on this video. But if you haven't seen it, we said that we want to make some reaction videos on the videos that we already watched, and we gave our reasons in the video of George Carlin. But to keep it short, well, there are videos that we both have seen, and there are videos that are pretty popular on the reaction genre.
Yes.
This is one of them, Bill Burr, No Reason to Hit a Woman. Before that it was George Carlin about religion. And yeah, like we said in this video, and we said in our post that we posted on our wall, we always try to keep things honest with you. So if there is a video that, for example, I watched and Weronika hasn't, we said it, we are saying this upfront. And this is the video that we have both seen.
Yes.
I've seen it many times, Weronika, I don't know, once.
Just once, yeah. So it's a bit different than the George Carlin, wherein I also knew that video very well. This one I think I've seen once. Maybe I've seen clips of it.
Yeah. But I thought that it would help our channel to grow if we could have those videos on our channel too, because they are very popular, people are looking for them. And, we react to Bill Burr, we react to George Carlin, we just don't have those exact videos because we have seen them. So we thought we can watch them, react to them, and we will just title them like not our first time watching or second time watching, something like that. And therefore we can have them on our channel, but we will keep being honest and we will not pretend that this is our first time watching this. But we thought that our thoughts, our opinions will be interesting too, even if we've seen this video already.
Yeah, exactly, and it gives you some kind of fresh content as well, where you can see us commenting on something we have seen before with like more reflections maybe than you can come up with on the spot. And also I know a lot of you wanted to see, well, from our subscribers, you wanted to see us react to this, so you can get it we can't make ourselves forget, though for me it's very often quite a close thing, but we can at least give you the reaction.
Yeah, and especially this video because, Weronika has a special relationship with Bill Burr.
Yeah.
So this video will be kind of different because I will be laying back a bit.
Please don't even.
I will.
Why would you say?
I will shut my mouth.
I thought we were having this positive outlook on our productivity, and I thought we were not setting unrealistic goals for ourselves. So I think staying quiet for you or for myself is an unrealistic goal. So let's keep it real. But yeah, I have mentioned some stuff about Bill Burr on previous video that we've watched. I think we've referenced this video as well. So I'm not gonna spoil anything that I'm going to say. But if there is some pausing, it will probably be for the purpose of elaborating.
It might be a longer video because we have some disagreements. I mean, I am a big fan of Bill Burr, and Weronika likes him for some of his things, dislikes him for other of his things.
Yeah.
So we will try not to argue too much during this video because it will be too long. We will argue off camera after the recording.
Yeah.
So just know that it's not our first time watching this. I've seen it many times, Weronika once.
Sorry.
And it's not like you necessarily didn't like it, right?
Oh, No, not at all. No. Yeah. I think it's just controversial, especially when you are someone who really enjoys it and searches the video up to see the reaction. You very often expect someone to have a completely positive reaction. And
it will not be the case with her.
Yeah.
All right, but please don't hate her just because of that.
Yeah, we can.
There are other reasons to hate her.
Thanks, baby.
Let's begin.
No, we have these huge battles. You know what the maddest she ever got at me was? One time she was watching this show, it was like a poor excuse for The View, and they started talking about domestic violence, right? For the 9 millionth time this year, they're talking about domestic violence, just in case, you didn't get the memo, Evidently, just some people didn't get it. It's not okay to slam your wife's head into the cupboard drawers because she didn't dry the can opener off properly, It's gonna fucking rust, right? How do you not know not to do that shit? Do they really have to keep talking about it? It's like wife beaters watching. Oh, fuck! Now I get it. Upset daisy, sweetheart. Here we go. There you go. Oh. So at the end of the hour, they come to the logical conclusion. They're like, there is no reason to hit a woman. There is no reason to hit a woman. And I was just like, really? I could give you like 17 right off the top of my head. You could wake me from a drunken stupor, I could still give you like 9. Dude, there's plenty of reasons to hit a woman. You just don't do it. But to sit there and suggest that there's no reason. Dude, the level of ego behind that statement. What are you, levitating above the rest of us? You're never annoying? Women, how many times have you thought about slapping your fucking guy in the head this week?
Every day!
There you go.
Oh my God.
Every day. You didn't do it, right? Oh, dude, it drives me nuts. There's no reason. There's no reason.
How many times you wanted to slap my head?
This week? I would not disclose it in public in case something ever happens.
What?
I would not disclose this in public in case something ever happens. Like you have an unfortunate accident or something like that.
Remember to have a smaller gloves.
I am
just in case.
I am lucky that I do not have violent tendencies. I know some people have to fight with that. I don't. And I know it's not necessarily a feature of my character. It's probably just something that I have. I don't have to work hard to not be violent. I just am not. But
you just fucked with my head.
Yeah, I mean I think it's different watching this video. Can I say right away? When you're just watching it without emotions, because I already saw it. I'm not saying that it made me like offended or emotional, but it's more like you see this video and it's titled. It's a good point you made in one of our previous videos. This is not how he titled this video. No reason to hit a woman, It's just something he says. One of many lines he says. This is what it's titled like, and you watch it and you like. There's a purpose behind it, and you watch it and you maybe. Well, I think we all do it. You have different opinions about some subjects, so you approach it with a certain eye. But watching it more detached, I see more what he's saying. But there's, I don't know, parts of me, but I also think most of us who are watching that immediately think, it's kind of semantics because, well, there's no reason really to hit anyone unless it's self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to it, a woman or not a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand you may want to, but I don't know, even if someone offends you or your mother, there's not really any reason to hit him.
But doesn't mean what you see reason. I mean, you can have a reason to hit someone, woman, not woman, man, child. You can have a reason, but reason is not an excuse. There's no excuse to hit a woman.
Unless it's self-defense. Then yes.
Yeah, but you can have different reasons. They can be good or bad, but reasons... There are reasons.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Really? No reason? How about this? You marry a girl, you fall in love, you buy her a house. You go to work every day paying off the house. You come home one day, she's banging the next door neighbor, hands you divorce papers. You got to move out, sleep on a futon, and still pay for that house that she's going to stay in. No reason. I'm not saying you should do it, but there's plenty of fucking reasons in that arc of a story. All right, that was a hypothetical. You want an actual story? I'll give you one. All right, I fucked up my foot playing drums, trying to get my bass drum foot as fast as John Bonham's, because I figure that's a good thing to focus on. 43 years of age, never married, no kids. I figure this is going to lead me to the light, right? This is what I need to do. So I don't know what I did. I felt like after I played for like an hour, and afterwards I felt like literally like there was some midget stabbing me in the bottom of my foot, right? Like I had lightning coming out of the bottom of my foot. So I did the typical guy thing. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'll sleep it off. Be fine, right? Next morning I wake up, my foot's even worse, and I got to walk my crazy dog. So I'm like, I can't do it. My foot's killing me. So I wake up my girl, go, sweetheart, can you do me a favor? Can you walk the dog for me? Can you just take the shift? You know, I'll do your afternoon shift. Can you just do me this solid? Can you do this for me? And she's just like, oh. You know, I had a late night last night. I'm tired. I have a big day. And I just go, fuck it. She goes, what do you mean, fuck it? It's like, why can't you just say no? Why do you always gotta like waterboard me with like a 20-minute explanation that eventually winds its way around to go, fuck yourself? Just say no. So I'm just limping out of the room. Whatever, go back to bed. You got a big day, right? So now I'm like limping down the street. I got like Tourette's, fucking goddamn bullshit.
Is it like a man-woman thing? Because I feel like we sometimes have like, maybe not arguments, but like bickering about this as well. Because for me, it's, if I want to refuse you, I would rather not refuse you. So then I would do like her. I would say, wait, well, maybe not without this, maybe without this, like, but you know, if I didn't know your leg was hard, because then of course, he also didn't say in this video, he told her his leg was hurting. But I would also go on about like, oh no, I can't do this because I had a late night, because this, because that, because for me, and I see now I kind of wonder if it's like a woman thing.
Maybe,
now I'm gonna say something very feminist,
yeah.
But that you are kind of not allowed to say no just because no, you have to have a reason, and we are kind of used to giving reasons why we are.
I don't know, but have you noticed like someone, you ask me if I want something and I say no, and you're like,
yeah, because it's like
why
that's not how you do it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you, sweetheart, that you proposed me to this.
Yeah, like not even that, but it's more like, or even, you know, someone at work, someone does it to me, and I'm like, of course I'm not gonna tell them I'm offended, but I'm like, no, you say no, and then you explain why not for at least twice the time that it took you to say no. Otherwise, that's just not how society works. So I think it's probably a good thing that it would be to just say no if you don't want to do something, because you are allowed to not want to do something. But I'm saying that, and at the same time, I cannot comprehend it in my head. Like, I have to have reason to refuse to do something.
No, from the point of view of a man, I don't think the reason why he was angry was her elaborate response. I think it was just the refusal, and the rest is just rationalizing this in your head. Like, I'm not angry because you refused. I'm angry because you couldn't say honestly that you refused.
Okay. Or like she's making a victim out of herself or something.
But I would be, on his place, I would be angry just because of the refusal act.
Yeah.
And if someone refuses you, and then maybe you want to, you know, to have this, like, you know, like take off the band-aid, you want it to be quick.
Yeah.
And not
have to listen why, and maybe you will find out by the end of it that they really have the right to refuse you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dog's walking next to me. I gotta admit, I got a little childish. I did. I got a little childish, you know? I was just thinking about my relationship. I'm like, this is the relationship I'm in? You just gonna do whatever the hell you wanna do, right? And fuck me? Fine, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I wanna do. I feel like listening to my iPod on full blast, walking around the house. That's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I did. Turned it all the way up, and my whole plan was just to walk by her like I didn't even know her. That was it. She came down the hall, I just ghosted her. Just walked right past her. Just trying to piss her off. And I gotta tell you something, worked like a charm. Worked like a charm. Yeah, hung my coat up, turned around. By the time I turned around, she was already yelling at me. But the music was so loud, not only could I not hear her, it actually looked like she was singing the song that I was listening to. It's one of the highlights of the relationship. So I knew what she was saying. I was like, whatever, I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. I'm going onto the computer, right? So I limp over and I sit down, and unbeknownst to me, she's like, no, we're going to talk about this right now. Comes out, poof, and slaps the headphones off my head. I got big ears. It fucking hurt.
I just want to say right away, because later I'll forget. This is also unacceptable for me. And if I am going to say something about what he says about women, I would like to say up front, this is also unacceptable. And it doesn't matter if you're half the size of the man. You are not allowed to hit someone. And if I hit you, then, you should break up with me. Because this is just not something, Just wanted to say that before so then later...
Good to know.
Good to know? You'll write it down? If she ever hits me, break up with her.
So I'm like, honey, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. Put the headphones back on. She comes right back up again. Poof! Slaps them off a little harder. This time they spin halfway around my head. Caveman DNA starts coming up. Talking through my teeth. Honey, leave me alone. Don't want to talk about it, right? Put them on. Third time she comes down. Poof! Slaps him right across the room, and I snap. I'm like, fine, you want to have the fight? Let's fucking have the fight. She's like, we will discuss this later when you calm down. Right there. I just wanted to roll her up on her yoga mat and stuff her behind the couch. Just leave her there until she got thirsty. Come on, let me out of here. I have a spin class. You've made your point. This is ridiculous. No, that's the thing. Really is. That's the thing. I hate that saying there's no reason. Obviously, I'm not saying to hit a woman, But saying there's no reason, I think that's crazy. When you say there's no reason, that kills any sort of examination as to how...
This is the point where it gets deeper. And if you miss this point, for me, then you miss the point of the whole video. Mm-hmm. Like, the rest is kind of like exaggerated because it's a comedy. But when you want to understand the full, the meaning, the deepness behind the comedy clip that you are watching, then there are moments like this one when they are not the jokes, mm-hmm. but when there is the marital, the point of everything that he's saying, and I think that's the point, this exact thing that he's saying.
I'll zoom up the focus.
When you say there's no reason, that kills any sort of examination as to how two people ended up at that place. If you say there's no reason, you cut out the build-up, you're just left with the act. How are you going to solve it if you don't figure it out? Look how awkward it is in here right now. I said you shouldn't hit a woman. I'm just saying, how come you can't ask questions? You can only ask questions about what the guy did. You can never ask about the woman. Why is that? Why is that? What is that? What does answer him right mean? What does that mean? Are you the idiot who got up halfway through the special during the bit and you're like walking around like I'm not fucking taping a special here? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Fucking had to ignore all of that and now you're gonna like yell out? And not only that, yell something that makes no fucking sense whatsoever? Answer him! Answer him! Every fucking special I do, there's always one. Always, right down the fuck.
I think it really doesn't help him that he does this in this clip, because I completely understand. It's his special, it's very important to him, and she behaved badly. Well, if she had to get up to pee or something, then
she started heckling.
Yeah, but he said she got up in the middle of the special before. I understood that she left the room or something. Or she just got up, yelling. I don't know, so it's extremely rude, and maybe if they had security, they could have taken her out. But it's more that... can I be very honest? You know what the problem is? Because he sees him like a guy that has aggression issues.
But he does.
He does. And then when he is the guy who speaks about there is no reason to hit a woman, and I don't know if it's the fact that I'm a woman and it makes me feel uncomfortable because I sense it that he's like that. I think that's why a lot of people may react very emotionally to it. It's not like Stephen Fry coming out and saying, sometimes there's a reason we want to hit a woman. It's him, right? But yeah, I had a different point, but I forgot, so we can go on and maybe I'll remember.
Wait, just because he seems like he has a problem with aggression, then you think he should not be the person to speak about this
no, he absolutely should be. And also that's another thing that I think I said before. Just because I don't personally like some parts of him, that doesn't mean I think he should not be doing this. Maybe he is the perfect person to do this because maybe he knows what he's speaking about.
I think he speaks about this because it affects him, you know?
Yeah.
Just because of the same issue that you said. Because he has problems with aggression. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he hit a woman at any point.
I don't think he did, because if he did and then he speaks that, then that would be strange. I think he
no, what he's trying to say, and I don't think you still understand it, is that when there is a scenario, when there is a story like some woman was hit, or maybe not beaten, but hit by a man, then there is a stigma around in society that you cannot ask even why he did it.
Yeah, of course. I
because, and that's the title of this whole clip, because there is no reason to hit a woman. So, and because we have those kind of thinking, this is what he is against. That you cannot say there is no reason to hit a woman, and because of that you say that we cannot ask what happened before, because just the act itself was undefensible.
Yeah, because you can explain.
Undefensible?
Yeah. Indefensible, I think.
Indefensible?
But why do you think I don't understand that? Of course I understand that. I mean, and I agree, and it's one of the things I wanted to say, that it's very often, and I think that's why indeed it's important that someone speaks about it. I might not be the audience because I don't think I need to know it, but it's good to see anyway. But that you can have a wife that emotionally abuses you for years and years and years, and I don't know, she cheats on you, or she, like with this video, she smacks you and she thinks just because she's smaller she can cause you pain and scare you, because that evokes this kind of response. She can gaslight you, she can do whatever, and then you hit her because she angered you so much, and all of that doesn't matter. And she gets custody of the kids, she gets all of her money just because you hit her. But
that is what he's speaking against.
Yeah, so I understand that. I understand that as well. It's just, for me, it's a part of this is a delicate issue, I think. That doesn't mean it shouldn't be spoken about. But when he says, there is no reason to hit a woman, he says, because you can never ask, what was the reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, actually, there are a lot of areas of society that do ask. And there is a lot of, one of the things when you are the victim of domestic violence is that you blame yourself. And you will get told by, less and less now, but you'll get told by your girlfriends and by your mother that, but you angered him. He's so stressed after work. So, did you do something? Did you do something to provoke him? Just don't provoke him. Just leave him alone. And it does happen.
I'm sorry, but
that there's a lot of guilt and internalized guilt as well. And you will hear this, I think, from almost all victims of domestic violence, that in the end they will say, yeah, but I could have not provoked him. I knew he was in a bad mood when he came back from work. I should have just shut up.
But you are mixing two things now. So wait a second, because you're mixing when there is a victim, and the victim has this sort of a Stockholm syndrome when he thinks that it is my fault because I angered him, blah 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 blah. But we are not talking about the victim point of view. We're talking about the point of view of other people, that you say that it's the same. Like the mother would say to her daughter, you shouldn't have angered him. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it happens, to be honest. I don't think, if you think if I would hit you, for example, then your mother would be like,
no, because it changes
Veronika,
a lot.
You shouldn't have angered him?
No, because it changes a lot
but
right now.
I don't think it's so popular.
But I think even a generation back when you would have a husband...
But we are not talking about the generation back, we are talking about this generation. It's sort of a new clip. I mean, it's not that new. I mean, new. It's from 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So it talks about the situation nowadays.
If we are only looking at that.
Of course, it would be a completely different subject if you would talk about what was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Then I think there won't be a clip like that. It wouldn't exist. Mm-hmm. Because the situation around this whole subject would be so on the other end of the spectrum that it would be never created.
Maybe you're right.
But when we talk about the situation nowadays and what he has a problem with, as far as I understand, is that we as a society deemed that hitting a woman is inexcusable crime in every circumstance. And we can never ask even what was the reason behind it, what she did before, what were you arguing about. Just the act itself is unforgivable, and that's the end. I mean, it doesn't matter what happened before. If you did it, then that's the end. And I think that's the problem that he has, not the fact he never says that, oh, it should be normalized, blah, blah, blah,
No,
blah.
he says very, like, for him, I think he makes, this is another thing that I noticed on the second watch, that he makes a lot of disclaimers. He doesn't usually make that many.
Yeah.
So I understand.
And I think that's his only problem. Not the relationship between normal people, but just what the society deemed inappropriate or appropriate.
Fucking middle. Talking about hitting women, sweetheart. And I think you just added another reason. Jesus fucking Christ. You love this. I'm not even in a relationship with her, and she's fucking nagging me. Fucking unbelievable. La, 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 la. Look, I understand hitting a woman's a bad thing, okay? How come you can't fucking ask questions? I just don't understand. Like, if I got bit by a rattlesnake, wouldn't you guys have some questions? Right? How did it happen? Did you not see it? Were you fucking with it? How did this snake get so mad it almost killed you? Firemen put out a fire, they don't just drive away afterwards, they sift through the debris. How did it start? Here's an oily rag, right? Look, I realize I'm coming off pretty ignorant right about now. I realize that. Let me extend an olive branch then, okay? I realize that there's some animal guys out there, okay? Horrible guys, you know, have a rough day at the factory, come home, tuna casserole, and just start swinging, all right? I'm not trying to say that those people don't exist. I realize they exist. They should be buried underneath the prison, okay? So if I can admit that, ladies, can you at least admit that every ass kicking doesn't just fall out of the fucking sky? Really? Even hockey has 2 minutes for instigating, right? They understand that some back and forth happened before that shit, you know? You know what it is every case is handled like that Rihanna one, where they just say, the guy's a piece of shit, fuck this guy, blah, 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 send him to jail, and then they never ask anything about that. You know, I'm not saying he should have done it, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, dude, in your heart of hearts, what do you think was going down before that happened? You think she was just sitting there going, oh my God, Baskin Robbins, you want to get some ice cream? And he fucking, you know? Or do you think maybe they were having some epic end of the relationship fight and some crazy shit was being said? Maybe she was screaming in his ear some crazy female shit like, oh, fuck all your friends, I don't give a fuck! Maybe that's why I sell more albums than you, motherfucker! Right? To be fair, she could have just been sitting there going, I need a tissue. Do you keep those in the glove box? Oh my God, I'll bring my out! I'll bring my out! No.
Yeah, it's things like that that are difficult for me to get behind, especially like specific examples like this. Because again, I understand, but when he's so much focused on her just provoking him in this moment that he lost his temper like that, whereas it's easier for me to get behind like long-term abuse, and then because you're just trapped, so it happens, you still shouldn't do it, and it's different when you're with someone you love because we expect you to have more self-control and be able to walk out, but sometimes they will like provoke you, like prevent you from walking out. Okay, but when it's a situation like this and he's saying, oh, he was doing this, this is what, it bugs me. I'm not offended, but I am annoyed by this when he says, and the same way he mocked the heckler. It's a very specific thing men do to women, and if a man screamed out in the same tone of voice that she did, would he have said, blah, 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 blah? I don't think so. And it's very condescending, and this is we don't face every day any issues from, gender inequality, but stuff like this is what annoys me.
I think I understand.
And when he says like, oh, she was in his face doing this female thing when she was screaming at him and saying, oh, I sell memo albums. Yeah, but you think he was silent, sitting on the couch when she was screaming, and then she said something too much, he got up and he hit her? Or they were screaming back and forth she didn't hit him to the point that it would be visible on her face. So she was able to. She was provoked as well.
Even if she would hit him, then it probably would not be visible on his face.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she's wearing plenty of jewelry, so maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that she hit him. He didn't say ever that from what I know, that she hit him, and I don't see why he wouldn't have.
No. But I
you know what I mean? Like,
I agree with what you were saying about his attitude, because you can see that when he answered this woman who was heckling him, he has this attitude that stupid fucking bitch. Yeah, I understand. That I agree. But when you said about this whole scenario with Rihanna and the guy who hit her, then you say that just because she hasn't hit him proves that there was possible to maintain such a self-control to not hit the other person. Yes. But on the other hand, like when you have a relationship, when one person is, let's say, I don't know if smarter is a proper word, but when, like, let's say there is a couple of people, men and women, and let's say that when man is stronger, but the woman has a bigger ability to like deal a psychical damage to the other person, and the guy just doesn't have this ability, and then you cross this point when you care about each other and you just want to hurt the other person, and the woman can do this. This particular woman can do this using her words, because she has this ability, to cause a pain, and like a real pain, just by saying stuff. And she really, she hits a bullseye every time she says something, because she knows this guy for a very long time, so she knows exactly where to hit. And the guy doesn't possess this ability. Let's say he's a simple guy.
I see where you're going.
And he's not good with words. He's not as intelligent as her. And she, every time she says something, it hits him right in the heart. And at one point, it's like a fist fight, because he was hit here and then and here. And he wants to hit her back, but he tries to say something to her, and he sees that, it just, how do you say that? Spits all over her. Yeah. How do you say that?
Well, I know what you mean. Sorry, I'm just listening. Yeah,
I mean that he's saying stuff and she doesn't care about them.
Just bounces off her.
Yeah. So, as a last resort, he hits her.
Yeah, of course, the better solution would be to turn back and leave.
Of course.
And she also
she could turn back and leave,
yeah,
but she chose to hurt him.
And then you can wonder if, for example, if he hits her, and then, I don't know, say his mother is dead, and she says something about his dead mother that's so horrible because he hit her and he pushed her after the edge. Is that excusable? I think still not. Because both of these things are horrible. And we don't have any way of, putting someone in jail for saying something so horrible in a private fight. But I think both of these things are absolutely horrible.
But it's still a crime, and it will always be a crime. And he doesn't say that it should not be a crime if you are provoked.
Yeah.
The one thing he's saying is that I think there should be a difference between when you were walking down the street and you saw someone and you just hit him in the face with no reason.
There is. If you are provoked, you will likely get a smaller sentence. I know that's not what he's speaking about. He's speaking about society, but even very important thing in this is, for example, adultery. If you kill someone after they sleep with someone else, you get a much lighter sentence. It's one of the strongest defenses you can have for a violent act.
Okay, so that's good. That's good that this is still going on. But if we as a society will keep pushing this narrative that there is no reason, never, you know what I'm talking when I'm heading?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's difficult for me. I think it will take me some time to accept it so bluntly, even though I definitely agree, and I think it's an issue, and it's a bigger issue than what I'm speaking about. That, for example, I think men can't be victim of sexual assault because of this, and blah blah blah. It's a very big issue, but I still keep thinking about these women who are in themselves feeling guilty for being victims of domestic violence, and that the only thing you can tell them is there was no reason for him to hit you ever. So stop thinking about it, that you did this wrong or this wrong or this wrong because he shouldn't have hit you. Because maybe this one time you manipulate the guy or you say something mean, but he already hit you 12 times. So was it deserved this one time? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's the problem with everything. You know, something that you said will hit the right ground for one person, but for the other person it will completely be way over.
And it may be hurtful for someone else. Yeah, that's true. You can't always.
Let's finish this because it's taking too long. So let's finish this and we'll pause.
Fuck that, because you know what it is? They never address how women argue, which I think is a core of a lot of that shit. You know? And I gotta tell you something, man. Like, I never knew how women argued. But after 20 years of losing every significant battle in a relationship, I finally figured out how they argued. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm starting to turn this franchise around. I have begun a winning tradition. This is how they argue, as far as I can tell. All right? If they're right, they argue the point. And they stay on point and make sure you stay on point until you're down on your knees, apologizing, begging for forgiveness. All right? No problem with that. Totally respect it. But here's the thing. If they're wrong, they go rogue. They go off-road. They start thinking of shit you're sensitive about. Maybe you don't get along with your dad. And in their head, they just start concocting this evil statement. Totally designed, this desperate Hail Mary attempt to make you so fucking mad, you just call them a cunt. That's what it is. And cunt trumps all the bullshit they did to start the argument. Now it's not about that. Well, that's no reason to call me a cunt. And then that's it. You're in this room now, right? My girl knows my big thing is, my big fear in life is to be that dude who grows old, you know, grows old alone, has like that basement apartment, just screaming up at the younger couple, turn it down! That isn't music! So I noticed that anytime she was losing a fight, out of nowhere, she'd just be like, well, that's why you're just gonna grow old and be alone. Then I'd lose my shit. The next thing you know, I'm in the kitchen washing dishes for the 9th fucking time in a row. This is what the argument was about. I was so right. What happened? So if you learn anything from my ignorance tonight, just know this. Next time you're in a battle with your beautiful woman, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, and they start out of nowhere, okay? You're winning and they just start saying that crazy shit out of nowhere. Just know in that moment you've won the fight, okay? All right? Don't get mad. Bob and weave, slip all of that shit. Maybe because you got a little dick. Just let that slide. Stay in the pocket of the argument. Okay? It's over. The argument is over. You've won. Just take a knee and run out the clock. All right? Yes. Lean on the ropes. Let them punch themselves out. And then in the end, you throw their psychology right back at them. Well, maybe we should discuss it later when you calm down. And they won't hook up with you for a couple of days. Who cares? Who cares? You rub one out. Rub one out like a man. It's the champagne of victory.
We will not maybe be discussing this much more after the video because it's already, 38 minutes almost? I think we've said enough.
Well, I think when you click on the video, you see it's 40 minutes, you'll know what you're getting yourself into. Bye!
Goodbye, guys. See you in our next video.